Live. Woo. I don't know why I'm so excited. But this is the first live stream I'm doing on my phone. So it's a vertical, a little different than other live streams, but I'm not going to be on here too long. Um, on a poll on my channel, I recently asked, what do you all want to see more of? And a few people said they would like to see more live streams, and or most of y'all said you want to see more live streams. So I'm gonna be definitely doing more live streams. Today's Wednesday. It's probably not the best day to do a live stream to where most people can get on. Probably on a Sunday would be better, which I know, but had things to do this Sunday. So probably next Sunday, though, I'll be able to get on. Hey, David, this is such a great topic. Yeah, I know. I thought so. Let me tell you how I thought of this topic because I've been seeing this idea a lot lately that we can sometimes be addicted to stressful situations, and we can sometimes provoke our own anxiety. And I was watching this show. It's like a really popular Netflix show called Beef. And if you've seen it, then I want to, know how you would analyze the show, but I don't want to really spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it and who wants to watch it. But if you go on Netflix, it's like one of the top six shows right now. And it surrounds two main characters, a man and a woman. The characters both have an itch for getting themselves into trouble, basically. Uh, they both have cycles of negativity that have followed them, and I guess you could call it, they see it like bad luck, and they're trying to, at the same time, they're trying to make an effort to do right in their life, but they end up doing wrong, and they both see themselves as bad people, and they just do bad things, and they see their life as everything around them always turns into something bad because they're in it. And it just ends up snowballing. One little incident in the beginning, it just ends up snowballing into a huge, huge thing at the end of the show. So again, if you haven't watched the show Beef, I would recommend watching it if you are into shows. And it was really good because I think it's a mental thing that we enjoy. We sometimes get a thrill out of anxiety or stress or even danger. And I really wanted to get into that in this live stream. It's probably not going to be super long, but I can relate in a sense. And if you have any questions about this topic, then ask away in the chat. But I can relate in the sense of enjoying stress physically. I enjoy physically strenuous activities. I put a lot of stress on my body from the day to day, just in my work life. So, as many of you all know, I'm a yoga teacher. I actually literally just got done teaching a yoga class and drove back here to do this live stream. But I had a yoga class that was about 35 minutes away from me, but with traffic, it was 45 minutes. And I literally ended the class at 7, and I drove here in traffic to make it here by 8. So that's stressful enough. But I also am a stretch therapist for 19 to 20 hours throughout the week. And that involves a lot of strenuous activity. Just imagine I'm an athletics therapist slash or athletic trainer slash physical therapist. So I'm moving a lot of people, and sometimes those people are 2 times as big as me. And lately my body has been breaking down, and I've been waking up with lower back pain. I'm tired all the time, but I still keep going. I still try to keep going. And I love what I do, but at the same time, it's stressful to me. I find a difficult time making time to just chill. And I realized recently how much of a workaholic that I personally am, to the point where if somebody doesn't recommend that I make other plans other than work, then I'll always be working. But it's like I get an enjoyment out of, I don't know, working hard, that I can't stop. I literally can't stop. And it looks like an advantage on the outside just because on the outside looking in, I've accomplished a lot at such the age that I am. But it's um, it's actually really difficult to stop working hard or to stop putting your body through stuff or to stop putting your mental through stuff once you've gotten used to like getting a thrill out of it. So let me look up this article that let me try to look up the article about how I saw about people enjoying stress. Let's see, addicted to stress. And again, if you have any comments or questions about this topic that you want me to talk about in specifics, go ahead and drop the questions below. Okay. So when I Google, Psych Central says, yes, you can be addicted to stress. What is a stress addiction? It can be defined as a recurring pattern of seeking out situations or behaving in ways that increase stress even when you're distressed, aware of the potential consequences and want to stop. So, I mean, the number one example of this is social media. Social media, it's evident that it stresses us out because I remember there was a time that people were reporting, like people who were on TikTok regularly throughout the day, either consuming TikTok content or making TikTok content, they reported having like twitches, like that. And there was literally like, it's not funny, but there's literally a video thread of people saying, yeah, like my ticks, like my twitches got really bad after a few days, and they literally recorded themselves like doing the twitch thing. And it's like, so we know that things like, social media and things especially that we intake through the eyes are stressing us out, but it feeds such receptors in our brain, honestly, like dopamine and norepinephrine, which are feeling good hormones. So that's the tricky thing because what social media does is it feeds our brain reward. It makes it feel like we're getting rewarded for consuming content digitally, and it feeds our brain stress, but in the form of like a feeling good hormone. And that's I feel like that's kind of tricky because it kind of like disguises itself in a way that we may not recognize, but most people do recognize it and still consume it at the same time. Technology as a whole is just something that honestly, if we don't work with it, then it'll start working against us, especially with this whole, AI coming out and evolving. If we don't use it in a certain way to for the advantage of something positive, then there is some consequences that can come from that if we're scared of it or have a negative outlook on it. That's a whole other thing. So, um, yeah, that's pretty much like the article that I saw. So, literally, we put ourselves in stressful situations like, say you're in traffic. I was just in traffic like 20 minutes ago. You're in traffic and somebody's like honking at you, but you can't move anywhere because there's cars in front of you, right? So you just keep your cool for a little while, but then we kind of prepare ourselves to feel stressed by the words that we say. Because I realize it, we will say, "I'm about to get so upset," or I'm about to cuss at this person, or I'm about to flick this person off out my window." And we literally prepare ourselves to feel emotions by the words that we say. Like, say if somebody is tapping you and they keep tapping you and they keep tapping you, you're getting annoyed by that. So you say, I'm about to, like, you about to make me so upset, or something like that. That's us literally talking ourselves into our feelings, our emotions. And we don't notice that we do it, but I started noticing it, and I just changed the way that I reacted. And it sounds so, so simple, but so not simple. But once we become aware that we literally prepare ourselves to be stressed, we prepare ourselves to feel anxiety. And anxiety is just prolonged stress. We prepare ourselves to feel those things, and then you can notice how to kind of pull back from that and watch yourself. Also, meditating really does help. But okay, so going back to the example in the show that I saw, the show is called Beef, by the way. One of the main characters was a woman, and her husband, they were like complete opposites. So the woman, she was always kind of like on edge about everything. Like she was just ready to cut somebody out. And her husband, on the other hand, he would be like, you just need to focus on your breath. Breathe in, do the breathing exercises like we talked about, breathe out. And she's like, yeah, whatever. And it's like the way some people go about their coping with their stress is different. Some people aren't all about meditating, or they don't want to focus on their breath. They like, I need to release this what I'm feeling in a different way. So the outlets that we take, the approach that we take is relieving it through leashing that anger out on other people. Yeah, like, you know, it's it's very relatable. It's very relatable because it's like what you what you want to do, and what your mind wants to do, and then what your like body wants to do. It's very interesting. So also another thing can be, you sometimes have anxiety when you have too much free time. So, okay, this is a good one because say you're somebody who feels like you don't have enough free time to do the things that you want to do. Like you'll say, I want to work out. I think it will help me with my stress and with my anxiety, but I can't find the time slot in the day to work out. What we often do is when we do get that chance, say if we take an off day, what we'll do is put other things in the place of the time that we would use for something else. So when you get that off day, working out is not the first thing on your mind. Your work. So that's what I noticed, a habit within myself. Whenever I get some free time, I don't perceive it as free time because I really fill that time up with something else. Oh, let me look at these comments. Yeah, dealing with it every day. Yep. I worked a call center work from home job for years. Even at home is stressful. Yeah. Oh, that call center can be really stressful. I worked as a marketer, basically, at LA Fitness. I worked in sales and marketing, so that can be definitely stressful, like calling a lot of people or taking a lot of calls, especially if the person is in distress, ready to cut somebody out. But one thing you might experience when you have an addiction to stress is that when you get free time, you're worried that you're missing out on doing something else. Like you're worried that there's something else that you need to be doing, so you create something else to do. So then we perpetuate this idea that, oh, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough, whatever else it is. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough of this. I don't have enough of that. But it's like we actually perpetuate the same cycles that we're fearing that we don't have. That when we do get it, we kind of self sabotage in a way. And I think self sabotage can be for multiple different reasons. I can't think of one or another, but I definitely can attest to the self sabotage in that. Yeah, so honestly, that was pretty much everything that I had to say about the topic. I really identify with this, and um, I deal with it every single day. I'm still working on it. But once you become aware of it, awareness is the first step to change if you do want to change. Because it's interesting. Sometimes stress can be like a coping mechanism for stress, if that makes sense. Like because we're stressed out about something, we put ourselves in more stress so that we won't feel like we're waiting for other stress to come. For example, like a free time or free space in your mind. I think this is probably why a lot of people are afraid of their own thoughts because they know they have stressful thoughts. So when they want to meditate, it's like they don't want to put silence on because silence can be stressful. Hearing your own thoughts, you have this gap of silence where you're just listening to whatever comes up. And because we suppress so many thoughts throughout the day, stressful thoughts will resurface in the mind. And we want to avoid that. We just want to cancel out having that stress resurface by distractions, just distracting ourselves, creating chaos, and it can be fun. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about it. Meditation is my next step. I got insomnia on and off. Yeah, definitely. I have a great meditation for insomnia. Actually, it's called Five Senses Body Scan. So what you do is, and I do this in my holistic fit meditation membership. If you want the link, I can drop it, so let me know. But it's literally in all of my videos. It's in the description box below the video. But in the membership, we'll do a meditation. We do this meditation every single Friday. We'll first bring our awareness to the senses. Notice what you're seeing, notice what you're hearing. Just awaken all the five senses: taste, touch, smell. Even if you don't taste anything, it's just noticing those senses. And then once you have your five senses open, yeah, I'll go ahead and drop the link for you. I don't know if I okay. Yeah, so once you bring awareness to your five senses, you have your awareness open. So then you bring your awareness to the body. And sometimes when you have insomnia, there is stress, tension built in the body, and our mind body connection. Maybe the neurons that communicate from our mind to our body is telling our body, or the neural pathways are disconnected, so our body maybe thinks it's time to still be active. But in order to connect that mind and body, we want to not notice the full body at one time, but notice the individual parts of the body. So first noticing your feet, noticing your legs, noticing your lower back, your abdomen, your hands, each fingers on the hand. So we literally break down each part of the body, and that way we can more so like notice stress, that intention built up in the body. And that body scan meditation is probably the number one meditation for insomnia. I hope if I go to my home page on my phone, it won't exit out of the live stream. Let me see. Okay. I'm just gonna type it. Let's see. How do I type in the chat? This is my first time. This is my first time doing okay. How do I type? This is the first time doing the thing on my phone, live stream on my phone. How do I type? I'm not seeing it. Chat viewing options. I have no idea how to type in this chat. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate that. Yeah, I just don't know how to type anything because this is the first time I've done it. So I'll yeah, I'll go to, any one of my videos, my last video probably. Go in the description box and click on the link that says become a holistic fit meditation member, and that link will take you right to the website, right to the membership page. So go ahead and do that. And pretty much in every video I put like a little excerpt, commercial break sort of thing, telling you how the membership is set up, what all we do, and everything. So Sia said, I like you watching you from Suriname. Can you pronounce that? Like, spell that out? Because I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. But great. Thanks so much. Yeah, and if you all have like any other topics that you want me to discuss while we're here on live, let me know. Because that's pretty much all that I had to say about being addicted to stress. And maybe possibly I'll make an actual video on it because I think it's an interesting topic once I do more research on it. Let's see, what is a stress junkie? Stress junkies are people who, without even knowing it, use their own psychological responses as a mood altering device. Have y'all ever known anybody? Suriname. Suriname. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, have y'all ever known anybody who was like addicted to stress? Now that we've talked about it, like does anybody come to mind? Because I do know people who, more than myself, do have these cycles in their life where I can basically see that they're perpetuating their cycles in their life. And then we do it to ourselves subconsciously, but sometimes it's conscious, right? And then we're like, okay, why am I not getting anywhere? Why am I not getting to a certain goal? Like, I just want to be happy. I just want to be stress free. I just want to have more time. But it's like the things that we do, our actions aren't matching up to it. Off topic, you definitely be in that gym. I need to get back to working out. So I used to be in the gym a lot, like as far as like, lifting weights and stuff. Actually, so in the like 3 days a week, I will walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes. And then here and there, I'll like do my own yoga practice, which mostly consists of the abs. So yeah. And I do a lot of advanced yoga poses that strengthen my arms. So that's my gym. Yoga really is my gym. So if there's any other like video requests that y'all have too, because I thought about doing another video recently about, soon about, um, let's see. Hey, Kendall, welcome. Yeah, I thought about doing another video soon about cycles of not having friends, or like an updated like not having friends video, just because that one was so popular on my channel, about feeling like you're standing out and you don't have any friends, or feeling lonely. Okay, you were going to say that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that video. A lot of people requested a skincare routine, which I recorded it, so it's probably going to be up next week. I also recorded a nighttime hair routine, lock maintenance routine, nighttime to daytime, and that will be up soon. And if you have any other video requests, I know there was, what else was there? What else is coming soon? Oh, I have a different topic, but do you know something about African culture, the spirit part? If so, what do you think about it? Or drifting from friends? Okay. Um, okay. So thank you for your question, Sia. Interestingly, I had somebody comment on a video that I did a while ago, but it's still kind of popular. But even before I had locks, I did this video. It's called African American Hair and Spirituality. And some people commented and said that I shouldn't have titled it African American hair because some people who are black don't identify as African American. Not that they're not from America, but they just don't want to call them African American, but they identify as something else, which I totally understand, and it opened my mind. Another thing is in that video, I did talk about, Afro textured hair and spirituality. I probably should have said that. Afro textured hair. That probably should have been the title. And I was talking about how there are many different, I didn't say this in the video, but now I realize there are many different African spiritual roots. There isn't just one. And so I would have to honestly do more research if you want a more updated or thorough video, because I want to really like pay respects to like the roots for real. Like I'm mostly Nigerian and I'm also Congolese, also Liberian. Sorry, that was my tummy. I'm hungry. I need some food. And then some, little other stuff on the side, but mostly Nigerian, Congolese, and Liberian. And I've done some research on, those roots because my family doesn't really talk about it. And there's the belief also that within a lot of parts of like African spirituality, they have the belief that since your hair is the highest point on your body to the heavens, that our hair is a basically like an antenna to connect with our higher power. So that's why when in the video I was saying locks also, since all of your hairs are locked in here and you don't really lose many hairs, then you have even more of a stronger connection with that. And that's why locks is often such a spiritual journey. But just African American, or let me not say African American, Afro textured hair in general, because a lot of black people don't identify as African American, has a spiral shape, either like a spiral shape or S shape. And Afro textured hair is literally in the form of an antenna. Like if you think of anything that conducts energy, like a cell tower or just anything that conducts energy, even if you draw like a little kid draws a microwave and they draw the little waves coming off of it, that's like the shape of our hair, a spiral, a spring. When water drops from the sky into the sea, it makes a ripple, it makes us a, you know. So our hair, like the coily texture of hair, is a spiritual, I feel like, symbol for creation. Also, if you look in the galaxies, in the Milky Way, the spirals, the white like spirals of like galaxies and whatnot, is a representation of that. Let me see if I have any notes on that. But I could definitely do more. I could definitely do more research on that and make another video on African spirituality, going back to the roots. And also, I know they put a lot of emphasis on nature. A lot of African spirituality is giving reverence to nature, not like praising nature as God, but realizing that just like we are made in God's image, nature, once we like take the veil off of our eyes of the perception of how we see the world, nature is a lot like us. Like it breathes too. The trees help us live and we help the trees live. But these days we don't really acknowledge nature like we should. We don't really see it. Like we can look at it, but we don't really see it for what it is. And I know they put a lot of emphasis on honoring the ocean, the seas, the trees, the plants, the flowers. And that's really what I've been trying to get back to too, like honoring nature, spending time in nature, learning about different flowers and plants and stuff. So, oh, or drifting from friends. Hmm, I could definitely make a video of that. Let me make a note of that because there's a different type of people I'm learning when it comes to being friends and or when it comes to having friends. And what I realize is that as generations get younger and younger, people put less importance in keeping in touch with calling somebody, with sending a text. Because we have social media, it's become a lot less necessary to even have somebody's phone number. Because if you want to hit them up, you could just slide in their DMs, not, like on some like trying to get with them or anything like that. But just to check on somebody, if you don't have their phone number, you can easily find them on social media, or you can easily just not send them a text, call, or a DM and just look at their story. Like look at their Instagram story. And I feel keeping in touch or having friends has become very not so communicative. Communication isn't that great, even how people lack eye contact. A lot of people think think eye contact is awkward or it's scary. And I feel like that's also because social anxiety is more common, which I understand. This all cycles back to pretty much the same thing. But there's those type of people that maybe don't value keeping in touch as often with the call. And then there's other type of people who may see friendships as more so of like, oh, I do something for you, you do something for me, or else you're fake, or else, you know, you ain't a good friend. And there's people who see friends as like business partners type thing, and that's so unconditional. I mean, that's so conditional. So, drifting from friends, also when you start to develop more within yourself, whenever any type of spiritual, mental growth is happening, I feel like there will always be people around you who you'll need to separate from in some capacity. Just, and it will probably naturally happen. Happens with a lot of people that I've known, but that's not the end of it because then once you drift from certain people, then other people come into your life, and it may not be in that same season that you're like in isolation or you're drifting away from people, but maybe later on when you've gotten out of some cycles or grown through something or learned something new, that there'll be other people who are more mature, are more, you actually look up to them. And I feel like it's a big thing. If you don't have any friends that you can look up to, that they could teach you some things, then you probably need more friends, or you probably need, I don't want to say this, but better quality friends. Well, that's what it is, better quality friends that are on the same wavelength as you, because you are some of the five people that you can hang around. Or you could talk about your yoga journey. Yeah, definitely, definitely. I'll definitely write that down. Because I've talked about how I became a meditation teacher. I think I have like 2 videos on that. And my yoga journey is kind of the same thing, but I really got into yoga because of physical injury to my knees. And I started yoga because of stretching, because I needed to stretch to help heal physically. And it turned into it becoming a spiritual discipline for me. And in the way that people And the way that people usually come into yoga as a beginner is they usually come into it for the physical benefits, so common. But then they end up staying for the mental and spiritual healing too, which is so much greater than what you started it for, which is definitely my case. Descended from Africa and very spiritual, love nature, love the sun, moon, etc. Yes, yeah, I feel like we need to get back to that. I'm sure a lot of you probably know was the Sadhguru, and I watched a couple of his videos here and there. I'm not super into watching his videos, but he has a lot to say about the sun, the moon, how our, at least women's, our cycle is like the moon waxing and waning. It's the cycle of the moon. Literally, he was saying literally the reason that you were born is because your mother was in sync with the cycles of the moon. And that can go into, I mean, that's just, it's more than science. I mean, that can go into astrology and things like that, which I'm not super into astrology, but I think it can be helpful to look at and to understand certain cycles. And just like the seasons, some doctors even say that when the seasons change, your diet should change, right? Like when we're in the season of fall, that is a season of harvest or planting something. Is that the season of harvest? I think so. Like each season has a different thing, so you eat different things in the fall. You eat warm things, and then in the winter, all after all the leaves have fallen off the trees, it's a time for rest. Like bears go into hibernation. We rest. We get ready to prepare. We prepare for something new. Maybe reflect, and then spring. It's like, okay, the thing that you harvested in the fall. You harvested it in the fall. You planted it. You let it sit in the winter, and then in the spring, it is blossoming. So with that, your diet changes and everything. So literally, there are doctors who follow the seasons based what they should eat. I think that's very important. And in yoga, we do sun salutations to salute the sun. It's not, I wouldn't say praising the sun, because God is not the sun, but to me, God is everything. It's not one thing or even a thing. God just is to me, but it's like the sun is a part of creation. So I would say God is creation or spirit, whatever you want to call it. And whatever you would call it, it's really, a lot of people are talking about the same thing. It's just creation. So the sun was created, and you're just giving reverence to creation, which helps us live and breathe. Oh, another thing about the sun too, and about nature, which is, I'm really glad you brought that up, is I noticed that the flowers move with the sun. So, in the morning, the sun rises on the east. If you look at a flower, say this is like the middle of a flower and the sun is over there, the flower will be facing there. Let's say it's like 12 p.m. and the sun is right above us, then the flower will be facing upward. And then in the evening, the sun is in the west. So the flower will literally be facing the west. Like the flowers literally face the sun. And it's the same with our hair. Afro textured hair, it grows upward toward the sun. And that can go back to, African spirituality, that our hair is the highest thing on our head to the heavens. It also helps because we have the coil, the spring, the energy soaks it up from the sun, like vitamin D and calcium, and actually helps, feed our body with nutrients. Social media has changed the ways of communication. It definitely has. And I would say that I mean, I'm one of those people. I can admit that I'm not one to keep in touch. And I don't really exactly know why, because I have pretty good communication skills. Like, I can communicate with anybody well. I'm the type of person that gets along with everybody. That doesn't mean I like everybody, but if I don't like somebody, they probably never know. But I can get along with most people, so I communicate well. I look people in the eyes. I have no problem with eye contact. But it's just something about like failing to keep in touch with other people, and I feel it probably is because, introvertedness. Introverts, especially INTJs, that our mind is structured on certain things, and you might have certain times of the day where like you'll like reach out to people, but then you may like to be in your own shell because you value your alone time just that much that you're not one to talk on the phone. Because even though other people may value it, you could just like send a text, check in on people, and then it's like a 5 minute conversation, which is usually like how it is for me. I'm not one to talk on the phone for 30 minutes to an hour because I'm running around doing stuff. So, and with that, I'll go ahead and end off the live. So, stay tuned for Friday's video at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to talk about distractions and drifting away from your goal. I don't even say goal, just like we're all on a journey. And I talk about when you get comfortable, distractions can come. Um, do you practice magic? No, I do not practice magic. I probably need to go live and talk about that because a lot of people ask me, like, do I practice witchcraft? And because I practice yoga and meditation. And there's a thin line between, no, I'm not a witch. There's a thin line often between witchcraft and, being just a spiritual person. And the thin line is that you think, or the person thinks, that their ways of thinking and doing is greater than who created us. That's the thin line. If you look at any type of sorcery or anything like that, it has origins of what people would call, witchcraft, or what's it called, being crafty, or like uh being it's basically, you think that your ways of doing things, your own ego conscious, is greater thinking than divine consciousness. And even though people use divine consciousness when they use witchcraft, it's out of a deceitful intent. So it's literally all about your intentions. There's a very thin line between it. And I mean, people assume things about me all the time, every single day, and I just I know exactly why I'm here. I know exactly who I am, and so, sure in my own path and my own what I'm here to do. That I could definitely do another live stream on that too, because there's just so much about that yeah. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead, and that was literally my hip popping. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live, but thank you all of you who commented and gave questions, gave video references. Again, if you want to check out my meditation membership, the link is in like literally every video, every recent video. The link is in the description box underneath the video. So just go ahead and click it. It says how to join a Holistic Fit meditation, how to become a Holistic Fit meditation member. And yes, have a great rest of your evening, everybody. Bye bye.